Last day we were talking about the accelerator principle, how it works whenever national income increases and there will be increase in induced investment. And today we are going to start the new part of the macroeconomics, that is about money and banking, how money supply will affect aggregate variables in the economy. Till yesterday, we were talking about aggregate expenditures, national income, national output, and what are the determinants of aggregate demand, and how investment will be causing the change in national income, and how changes in national income will cause change in investment. That was the first part of the macroeconomics we studied in detail. And today we are moving towards the rest of the part of this chapter, which is related to money and banking, and how money supply will be affecting the macroeconomic variables in the country. So first of all, I am going to revisit the quantity theory of money. If you remember, we studied it in our AS level when we were talking about the causes of inflation in chapter number 4 of the macroeconomics. That means this is the quantity theory of money, which was given by the monetary thought. Previously it was a classical theory of money, that is about MV is equal to PY. So whenever money supply is going to increase, it will have direct effect on the general price level. So where Y can be written as T, this is called the Fisher equation, Fisher's equation. Okay. So we see M means money stock. This is the currency notes which are in circulation, which are printed by the central bank of a country. So these are the currency notes and coins in circulation. Whereas the V stands for velocity of money. And what is velocity of money? That is the how many times a currency note changes hands to buy the whole output produced in the economy. This is what we talk about. The velocity of money. And P stands for price level, Y or T, national output or transaction. Now, according to monetary thought, when velocity and level of output they are kept fixed, what is going to happen? Any change in money stock will cause a change in the general price level. Like we say, velocity is fixed, so any printing of new notes by the central bank will cause increase in price level by the same proportion. If money supply is doubled, general price level will also be doubled. So we say over here, so money, increase in money will cause an increase in price, and decrease in money stock will decrease the price level. Keep in mind, when we multiply money stock with the velocity, that will give us the total money supply in the country. How much is the total money supply in the country? So when we say velocity of money is constant, an increase in money will cause increase in prices, or general inflation rate will be increasing, and any decrease in money stock will be causing a decrease in price level. This is what we studied in our AS level. This is Fisher equation. And it is the monetarist thought, where monetarists they think that by changing the money supply there will be change in the general price level, and none of the other economic variable will be changing, like national output will remain same. Any influence on the money stock will be causing influence on the general price level rather than on the national output. Maynard Keynes, the macroeconomist, he started macroeconomics in after the Great Depression of 1929. He gave the role of government in the economic activities, and according to him, if we increase the money supply, according to monetarists, it is not only affecting the price level, it may affect any of the other things which are kept constant. He said, if we say MP is equal to PY, and and velocity of circulation of money and level of national output, they are also variable instead of keeping them fixed. If they are also variable, any change in money supply can affect the velocity of money, prices, or even the national output. It is not according to monetist theory. According to monetists, they were giving this equation as a theory that this will happen every time. This is a theory that if money supply is going to increase, money stock is going to increase, that will cause a directly increase in the general price level. But Maynard Keynes said when velocity is also variable, it is not fixed. Level of national output is also variable. So it is not necessarily true that increase in money supply will only cause increase in the general price level. Rather, it can change the velocity, it can change the output level and may not change the prices if output is also changing. So we say the monetist thought about the changes in money stock will only cause changes in the level of prices. It may not change the prices, it may not change the output, it have the other effects as well. If we say the monetary policy is the tool to change the prices, it is not true according to Maynard Keynes. He was of the view that money stock can affect output, may not affect the prices or may affect the prices and velocity as well. So this is how Maynard Keynes argued on the quantity theory of money, and he said it is not a theory, it is just an equation where we say the left side of the equation is going to be balanced by the right side. If all the things are variable, we are not keeping everything constant, like velocity and output is also variable, then change in money supply can cause a change in prices, velocity and output. That's all about our quantity theory of money. I'm moving towards the other forms of money. What are those? What is meant by narrow money and broad money? What is narrow money actually? If you remember, what are the functions of money? If anything is used as money, what are the functions it is going to perform? Don't tell me about the characteristics of money. I am talking about functions of money. What are those functions of money? There are 4 functions if you remember. One is called money is performing the function of medium of exchange, which is actually the definition of money. And second is measure of value or unit of account. We measure the value of everything in terms of money. And third is called store of value. We store our wealth in the form of money. And last one is called means of deferred payment. Means of deferred payment. Like all types of borrowed money, they can be paid back in the form of money along with interest. So these are the 4 functions of money. What we talk about the narrow money. Narrow money is going to perform the function of medium of exchange only. It is going to have a function to be performed in the form of medium exchange. And narrow money includes what? Narrow money. That includes, we denote it by M0, that is currency notes in circulation plus coins plus sight deposits. What are the sight deposits? Plus reserves of commercial bank with central bank. Okay. These are called the currency notes. These are the liquid form of money when they are present. Then in the economy, they will be used to buy the goods and services. Same is the case with coins. Nowadays we are using less coins with us to buy the goods and services, but they are also part of the money supply. And sight deposits. What do you mean by sight deposits? Do you know what are the different types of accounts in the commercial banks which we can open? One of the account is called current account, another is called saving account. When we talk about current account, that is called sight deposit. Why we say it is a sight deposit? Because whatever the money is kept in the current account, that can be withdrawn at any time by the depositor by writing a simple check or by using the ATM. There is no interest payment made by the commercial bank on that deposit. It is same like a money which is in our pocket or in our current account, which is not having any type of bank's liability to pay interest on that amount. So the current account deposit, which is not paying any type of interest on that deposit, and it is same like money in our pocket, like in our locker at home, that can be used for buying the goods and services. It is only kept with the bank for safekeeping. So currency in circulation, coins, sight deposits plus the reserves of commercial bank with the central bank. Whenever we open an account with any of the commercial bank, like with Habib Bank or United Bank Limited, any of the commercial bank, Central Bank, State Bank of Pakistan asks that commercial bank to keep a reserve of that deposit. Some part of that deposit should be kept with the central bank. That is called the reserve money, which every commercial bank has to keep with the central bank. Why that reserve is kept with the central bank? The reason is, at the time of the bank default, if bank is unable to pay back all its depositors, all the liabilities, the central bank will become the lender of last resort, and that money which is deposited in the form of reserves with the central bank, that can be lent to the commercial bank with interest in order to fulfill its liabilities. So that is what we say. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 parts of narrow money: currency notes, coins, sight deposits, or you can say the reserves of commercial bank with the central bank. So it is also called the monetary base of a country. This is called what? Monetary base. Monetary base means on which the whole money supply will be set by the central bank. How many currency notes they are going to print in the upcoming year, that depends upon how much is the monetary base of the country. So this is called monetary base or narrow money. It performs the function of medium of exchange, which is used to buy the goods and services by the individuals, by the businesses in the economy, in the market. That is called what? Narrow money or monetary base. Now what is broad money? If you remember, what is meant by store of value? Anyone remember? What is meant by a store of value as a function of money? We keep our wealth in the form of money, like in the saving accounts, which is bearing interest to the holder of that account. So that is called broad money. If money is kept and it is performing the function of store of value, where wealth can be stored in the form of money, if money is performing the function of store of value, it is called broad money. What it is? Broad money means, what do we mean by broad money? Broad money is over here. It performs the function of store of value. Then it becomes broad money. What is store of value? Like if you are buying a car, your money is stored in the form of that car. Okay, if you want to restore money, sell it out, money will be restored. If its value has increased in the market, it will be having more money for you, whatever you have stored. Or you have purchased one of the property, okay, that money is stored in the form of that property. So if you sell it out, your money will be restored along with a profit, you can say. So broad money is that in which value of money is stored and in future its value will be increasing. If it is bearing interest, if it is bearing any type of reward on the on that stored value of money in the form of property, we can say more profit could be earned. Or you can say building societies deposits, they are also called the broad money. So we say broad money is actually performing the function of store of value as money is becoming more and more illiquid. That means that if money is becoming more and more illiquid, so it is becoming broad. Broad money means what? When it is becoming more illiquid, it is used for storing its value. We say it is becoming broad money. So broad money include, you can write it M1, M2, M3, M4. These are the broad money. It is M0, which is our monetary base or narrow money. This is, I say, this is M0, and this is M1 or M2, M3, any money which is in the form of store of value plus sight deposits. Oh, sorry, not sight deposit, saving account deposits. Saving accounts deposits. Like we are having the saving accounts in which money is kept for 3 years or for 5 years or for 10 years. Now the bank will be paying compound interest on that money. What bank is paying? Bank is paying compound interest on that deposited money for a certain period of time till the maturity date. If a person has deposited money of 1 million rupees with UBL and UBL says, okay, if you are not going to withdraw your money for the 5 years, that we keep your money with us and we will do a business out of that money, we will make it double. We will pay you compound interest on your deposited money. That is called the saving account deposit. When money is kept with the bank for a long period of time and it is kept for 3 years or 5 years, and after reaching to the maturity date, when maturity date arrives, bank is liable to pay compound interest on that. There are two types of interest rates. One is called simple interest, another is called compound interest. I will explain them when I will be doing the banking, commercial banking with you right after this topic. So basically broad money is also controlled or managed by the central bank. Whenever central bank is designing the monetary policy of the whole country, it is going to control the whole money supply. So if we look upon whether they are going to change the narrow money or broad money in the economy, so they will design their macroeconomic policy according to their targets, which type of money they are going to target in order to control the money supply. So that will be the part of their monetary management of the whole country. So we say over here, there can be one of the MCQ related to this, what is meant by narrow money and broad money. So keep it in mind, the most liquid form of money is called narrow money, which performs a function of medium of exchange. As money is becoming more and more liquid, it is narrow money. And when it is becoming more and more illiquid in the form of saving account deposits, in the form of building societies deposits, like people are buying different types of real estates, so their money will become more illiquid because it is now stored in the form of that property. Okay. So any asset, whether it is a financial asset or any property or real estate, which is bearing more reward in future time, it will have more store of value. That is called, now money is having a broad category, like it is having more store of value in future. That money is called broad money, that in future depositors will have more money. So this is about our narrow money and broad money. Now come towards the other part of our money and banking syllabus. I am going to say what are the sources of money supply. I am going to start them today. Sources of money supply in the country. What are those sources? There can be commercial banks lending. Commercial banks lending. When they extend loans, okay, borrowing of federal governments borrowing from commercial bank. Third thing, federal government borrowing from the central bank. Fourth is what? Open market operation. And fifth, we say that is called net capital inflow. How much money is inflowing from abroad to our economy? Capital inflow and capital outflow. So these would be the 5 sources of money supply. Commercial bank is what? How can we define a commercial bank? First of all, if you have noted it down that these are the 5 sources of money supply. Commercial bank is that which is going to accept deposits from the people, and now it is extending loans to the other people, like borrowers and lenders. They are linked with the commercial bank. If we have opened an account with the commercial bank, with HBL or with UBL, so to that bank we have lent money. We are the lenders to the bank, and bank is actually an intermediate place between the borrower and lender. We have deposit money, we have lent money to that bank, and then the borrower comes in the form of investor to borrow money to buy the capital goods. So bank is going to lend money to that borrower with the name of earning interest. So bank is charging suppose 14% of interest from the borrower, and then pays to the depositor in the form of 3% or 4% as the interest rate is set by the central bank. So the rest amount, in the gap between the borrower's interest rate and depositor's interest rate, the bank will be covering its expenditures, whatever they are, and the rest will be the profit of the bank. Basically, commercial bank is that bank. How can we define a bank? Bank is basically an intermediate place between the depositor and borrower. Okay. If I write it on somewhere else, it is not going to be clear for you people over here. So bank basically is an intermediate place. What is a commercial bank? It is an intermediate place. Here, the depositor, they bring money to the bank, and here bank advances. What do we mean by advances? They are called the loans. Bank is advancing loans. In banking language, we say these are the advances, and these are actually the borrowers of the bank. Basically, if someone asks us to lend him money, we are reluctant to lend because we don't know about the credit worthiness of that person, of that firm. We are not going to lend money to any person or any firm because we don't know about the credit worthiness, whether our money will be restored from that borrower or not. So when we deposit money with the bank takes the responsibility that our money will be well protected, and if we are depositing with the bank is not only safekeeping it, but bank is liable to pay interest on the annual basis to the depositor. So basically, this is the liability of the bank, and these are the assets of the bank. So when borrower, instead of coming to us to borrow money, he goes to the bank in order to borrow money where we have deposited money. So bank, being the trustworthy institution, it lends money to that borrower with an interest rate. So when after a year bank is asking the borrower to pay the interest, and if he has completed all his business venture, then he has to pay back all the principal amount as well along with interest, then bank is able to earn interest from here. Like if suppose that there is 14% of rate of interest which is charged by the commercial bank from the borrowers, and here they are going to pay 5% interest to the depositors. The rest of the 9%, that amount will be used to cover its expenditures like salaries, building rents, and many other current running expenditures of any type of expenditures which are incurred by the banking sector. So that money is used, the rest will be the profit of the bank. Actually, bank is like a shop where money is going to be dealt. Instead of commodities, this is a part of money market where money is borrowed and lent by the bank. So this is called what a commercial bank. So what are the other functions of a commercial bank? Functions of a commercial bank. One is called to accept deposits. And how many types of deposits are there? If you remember, deposits can be in the form of current account where no interest is paid to the depositor. Only money is kept for the safekeeping. This is also called a businessman account where money is kept only for safekeeping and none of the interest is paid to the depositor. And second type of deposit, which I said earlier, that this is a saving account where we see it is called time deposit, where money is kept for 3 years, 5 years, or how much time the people are keeping money with the bank, then that is called a saving account deposit or time deposit. Then saving account deposits are having different types in which bank is liable to pay interest after a month, after biannually, after 6 months, or annually, or at the end of the maturity of that deposit, money can be paid in the form of interest. Second function of bank is what? Okay, these deposits can be in local currency or some banks they also offer foreign exchange deposit, like in foreign currencies you can open your accounts with that commercial bank if it is offering in the form of current account, in the form of time deposits. And second function is to extend loans. To extend loans or advances, this is the second function of any commercial bank. Like loans can be short term, like overdraft, you might be knowing it. Overdraft facilities provided to those current account depositors. They can borrow money, they can write a check more than the amount which is deposited with the bank, and that is called short term loan. At that short term loan, bank is charging a higher rate of interest on the borrowers because it is overdrafted maximum of 90 days. Okay. And the long-term loans, they are for a year or more than that. They are called the long-term loans. In case of short-term loans, the rate of interest is high and the amount borrowed, that is less. But in case of long-term loans, the rate of interest is lower, but the amount borrowed can be high. So these are the loans. What are the other functions? To make and receive the payments. This is on behalf of the businesses. And the last function, there can be the other functions as well. Other services, I will let you know what are the other services. To make and receive the payments, like if I want to make a payment to someone, I can write a check, open check or cross check in order to make that payment. So bank on my behalf, it is going to make a safe payment to the recipient. Or sometimes our school authorities, they have to make a salary payment to our accounts. So they write a credit transfer facility. Like instead of writing 500 checks to the 500 teachers and other custodial members of the school, the signing authority has to write a single check, and along with that check, the total amount which is accrued to the employees, that is mentioned on that check, and along with that check, a list of employees will also be sent to the bank. And bank, according to our account numbers, it is going to credit the salaries. This is called credit transfer. So bank is making the payments on behalf of the employer to the employees in the form of credit transfer, and sometimes bank is also having direct deposit, what is called direct debit. Like a fixed amount of rent is going to be paid, a standing order. Standing order means what? The fixed amount of rent is going to be paid by the school authorities to the building owner. So once they give a standing order to the bank that on the first of every month you have to debit my account by this amount, suppose 1 million or more than that, to this amount, this 1 million rupees should be credited to the building owner. So that is called standing order. Whereas the direct debit is called, in case of standing order, what is that? There is a fixed amount which is regularly paid by the person to another account holder. But in case of direct debit, like electricity bills of this building, they are not fixed. They can be varying in every month. So whenever these bills are shown to the bank, then our account will be debited and the GAPCO account or OBDA account will be credited. So this is called what? Direct debit. So bank is making so many payments on our behalf. In case of other services, and bank is charging the service charges on every function or every service it is going to provide to the people. Basically, it is dealing with the services of money. So wherever it is giving any type of service, it is not free of cost, so it is charging money or fees on every service it is providing. Other services like lockers, it can become a trustee of wills, like somebody has written his will and that after his death, how his property will be distributed among his children. So this is called, bank will become the trustee of will. And it is also providing locker facility. It can be providing different types of religious services, like when people are going to perform Hajj, it is conducting all types of Hajj services on behalf of the government. It is also accepting the utility bills. So there are so many functions which a bank can perform. Nowadays it is all digital banking or online banking. So where more functions of banks, they are now involved in order to facilitate buyers and sellers in e-commerce. So there are other functions as well. But the most important one which we will be studying in detail, I am not writing the details of every function because they are not part of our syllabus. This is for the sake of your knowledge, what types of functions a bank is performing. The most important one will be, we will be dealing in detail, That is called how bank credits money. Credit creation. What is the ability of a commercial bank to create more and more credits in the economy? That will be called credit multiplier of the bank, and we will be studying it in detail by tomorrow how money is begetting by the bank's activities. Money begets money by using this a function. How is the credit multiplier which is used to increase the money supply in the country? That will be our topic tomorrow, credit creation or credit multiplier, and then we'll be moving towards central bank, how central bank will be creating more money supply in the economy, and we'll be trying to cover this topic as quickly as it is possible, and then we will be moving towards our last chapter which is coming ahead, and our syllabus will be concluded inshallah. So that's all for today. If you have any question, you can ask me now in the question answering session.